Today in Austin, Texas, we're unraveling the real story behind a $95 million budget cut and its impact.
Hi, I'm Garrett.
And I'm Leah.
Welcome to Laid Back Local, the news of the day, with Leah and Garrett in Austin, Texas.
All right, here's where we begin. Austin's budget drama, the truth behind the $95 million cut. So, Austin's new $6.3 billion budget is causing quite the stir, mainly because of what's being called a $95 million cut. This all stems from Proposition Q, which was a proposal to raise property taxes by more than 20% to boost city revenue, but voters rejected it on November 4th. Now here's the real kicker. Even though Prop Q didn't pass and they talk about cuts, the actual budget is still higher than last year. Essential services like police, fire, and emergency services are getting more funding, while some social services see reductions.
That's pretty cool, right? I mean, the core spending is actually increasing even with these so-called cuts. It's a reminder of how important transparency is in public finance. Okay, let's move on. Exciting mayoral showdown. Pflugerville voters decide between Weiss and McCord. So, Pflugerville voters are gearing up for a mayoral runoff election on December 13th between Pat McCord and Doug Weiss. Neither secured a majority in the initial election. McCord, who used to be a consultant in the semiconductor industry, wants to focus on fiscal responsibility to lower property taxes and water costs. On the other hand, Weiss, who's an outgoing city council member, is all about improving community communication and infrastructure.
That's a story worth telling, but I'm a bit concerned about Pflugerville's $1.6 billion debt. It's a hefty amount, and it seems like past council decisions have played a part in that. Fiscal responsibility is definitely key here. Let's keep this going. Save Austin Now pushes for mandatory city budget audits. So Save Austin Now, which is a Republican-aligned group, is starting a petition to require regular audits of the city budget. They need 25,000 signatures to get this on the May 2026 ballot. The aim is to identify long-term cost savings and improve transparency. Interestingly, this group also opposed Proposition Q, and they're using a similar strategy to past efforts, like reinstating the public camping ban in 2021.
I could get behind that idea. Increased transparency sounds great, especially when you think about the success stories like in Houston, where they managed to avoid a tax rate election with similar audits. Here's where we go next. Texas Longhorns seek redemption in SEC volleyball finals against Kentucky. The Texas Longhorns are taking on the Kentucky Wildcats in the SEC volleyball tournament finals. It's happening in Savannah, Georgia, and both teams had strong showings leading up to this. Texas is looking to avenge an earlier loss to Kentucky this month. Key players like Aiden Ames are feeling confident with the new strategies they've cooked up.
That's close to the heart of it. I'm really excited about Texas's defense. They managed to outblock Kentucky last time, even though they lost. This rematch is going to be intense. All right, on to the next. Special Olympics Texas Winter Games return to Bee Cave and Lakeway. The Special Olympics Texas Winter Games are returning to Bee Cave and Lakeway from February 13th to 15th next year. Over 1,500 athletes will compete in events like powerlifting and volleyball. These games are all about inclusivity, providing opportunities for athletes with intellectual disabilities. Local support, including funds from hotel taxes, will help with promotion and transportation.
That's a solid point. It's amazing to see the community rallying to promote inclusivity and athletic opportunities. Plus, some of these athletes are nearly 80 years old, which is just inspiring.
Thanks for tuning in to Laid Back Local, the news of the day, with Leah and Garrett in Austin, Texas.
Have a great day, and be sure to join us tomorrow for more news and insights.